Hey, I'm Valerie, and if you found me, there's a good chance that perimenopause coupled with late diagnosed ADHD has made you feel like your body fucking hates you and is blatantly ignoring all the clean eating, the discipline, the hard workouts that used to work for you when you were fit as fuck and you slept like the dead. I spent 2 years spiraling out of control. I have finally cracked the code. So on this channel, I'm going to share with you what has worked for me on my journey. This series is called the Domino Series, and I call it that because there was really one major contributing factor that started the chain reaction where all the other dominoes started to fall over, and it was alcohol. I had to cut out alcohol 100%. And if you want to know more background on like what my drinking style was or whatever you want to call it, there's video number 2. But just a quick recap, I was drinking maybe on average 3 beers a night, I would say. Because on the weekends, I'd have probably a 6-pack on Saturday and 6-pack on Sunday. So just averaged out to about 3 beers a night. That doesn't seem like an issue, but it became an issue. In this video, I'm going to talk about why high-functioning women with ADHD and in perimenopause keep turning back to alcohol. So when I say high-functioning, my background is that I am 46, I have a corporate career, I live on 5 acres out in the country. I have animals. I'm a single parent. My oldest 2 girls have grown and moved out of the house. I still have one at home. So life is crazy, right? I'm high functioning, and I have a feeling there are a lot of women out there just like me. Of course, I was diagnosed late in life with ADHD because all of us were. They didn't think girls could get ADHD, but everything started to make a lot of sense. I don't think ADHD should be considered a disorder. That's neither here nor there. That's just my opinion. That's not what this video is about. All right, so let's talk about the cravings first. Why did I keep craving alcohol? Why does this continue to be a problem? Especially when you're at a level of, you're not to the point where you're trashing relationships or losing jobs or blacking out, and you're not drinking enough to get hungover, but you still just can't seem to kick the habit. Like there's that in-between part that nobody really addresses that was very difficult for me to overcome because I could not find any information on it. And I'm a huge researcher. And so I just wanted to know, like, how do I quit when I'm not someone who necessarily needs or wants rehab? I'm not going to have any dangerous detox symptoms. How do I quit? Why do I keep having these cravings? This should be so easy to stop. And this was not party girl recovery. I wasn't drinking to have a blast. Those years are way behind me. I was drinking because I wanted my brain to shut the fuck up for 5 seconds. That's really what it came down to. I was constantly overstimulated and my nervous system was an absolute train wreck. And quite honestly, I was very ashamed that I wasn't able to stop. It was the only vice, besides chapstick and water, that I had. And it was like, why can't I stop? I'm so good at everything I do, and I can't stop alcohol. And I'm not even like rage drinking. So I was ashamed of that. And I don't think I ever actually told anybody that I was having a hard time stopping, or even that I was quitting. So what were my cravings actually signaling to me? It definitely wasn't that I needed to go out and get fucking wasted. They were telling me, your brain is exhausted. Please shut off the mental noise. And I desperately need a fucking dopamine hit. Thank you, ADHD, for providing me with a brain that does not have much dopamine, and if I want some, it takes a lot of work to get it. So the craving that I was having, it wasn't the actual drink, it was the exhale, the nervous system downshift, the ritual. That's a big one for me. At this point, the only time I still crave beer is when I would ritualistically drink beer, when I'm out doing yard work, when I'm working in my wood shop. I love to do a project and have a beer. And that's when I crave it. It's the ritual. And then, of course, silencing the racing thoughts, because women with ADHD have racing thoughts. And that's actually part of the reason why women with ADHD have such a hard time sleeping. So in the series, I talk about alcohol just being the number one contributing factor, not the whole factor, like not the root cause. I quit alcohol and I suddenly was dropped 25 pounds and finally seeing some abs again. It was just a major contributing factor. It was the first domino because, as I've said in the last videos, I was doing all of the things that should have worked, all the things I'm doing now, but it wasn't working. And I was in absolute denial that it could have been the alcohol because I was working out like crazy. I lift really, really heavy. I eat really clean. Literally the only bad thing I put in my body is alcohol. I don't care about sweets, none of that stuff. So I thought, it cannot be doing that much damage. But it was. I finally decided, like, listen, if this is not working, you have to try something new. You cannot keep trying the same shit. And I was mentally spiraling really badly because I also have always been fit as fuck. I mean, never, even after I had babies, like I'm in the gym with my babies in their car seat, right? I have my own gym out in my garage and I have like a pretty good sized gym with a lot of equipment in it. I was a certified personal trainer for a while. I didn't do it because I was trying to train people. I just wanted the clout of having it behind my name. So when people asked me for advice, I felt more legit giving them advice. That's silly. Don't do that. You don't need a certification to like share your information with people. I'm absolutely not going to say I cut out alcohol and I changed nothing else and then I dropped 20 pounds. I cut out alcohol and it took some time. It took around 60 days to start seeing any difference, but I had to put a lot of work in elsewhere in the other series that I will do about how I started seeing this progress. And the thing is, like, I realized how worth it was to cut out alcohol because of the results that I've gotten. So the alcohol was just kind of sitting on top of a whole list of other things that was keeping me just compounding my weight like crazy. I mean, I have never had a weight issue, ever. I have never had trouble being in shape. I have to say that even when I was younger, before I hit perimenopause, I was in such fantastic shape that I heard a lot of people talking about, oh, wait till you're in your 40s, you're going to gain weight and you won't be able to help it. And I was like, that's an excuse. Like, there's no actual reason for that. You're just not working hard enough or you're not disciplined enough. And I thought, I am so disciplined. Like, it's going to be smooth sailing for me. I'm not going to gain weight. Joke's on me. So sometimes I think, God has a funny way of saying, listen, you think you know? Let me actually show you. So he showed me, but it has driven me to try to help other people who are in my shoes because here's the thing. I do not give up. I cannot stand not winning. So there's nothing wrong with having a few extra pounds. Like, I don't judge people on that. I'm talking the way I felt. So the way I felt physically, the way I felt mentally, the way I began hating looking at myself in the mirror, the way I only would wear sweatpants no matter where I went, the way I was totally disconnected and not present anytime I went anywhere for my daughter. Unfortunately, I was just so swallowed up by not knowing who I was out of nowhere. It wasn't even just the weight. It was like, I did not feel like myself anymore. It was like, you ever watch Supernatural? And like, when the demons possess them and like every once in a while, a little piece of themselves are still in there? That's how I felt. I did not know who I was. And I'm telling you, it was, I don't know. I cannot tell you how bad it was. It was bad. So when I finally decided to take the leap, I cut out alcohol. That was sitting on top of nervous system overload, first of all. And There are a couple reasons for that. Perimenopause is going to cause your hormones to wreck your nervous system anyway. Alcohol numbs it, but it does not fix it. It actually makes it worse. But in the moment when the alcohol is, hitting the body, it feels like it's fixing it. So you got perimenopause and alcohol wrecking your nervous system. And mine was an absolute fucking train wreck. I'm not kidding. Some of the things that alcohol was not allowing me to address was my nervous system overload, my hormone imbalance, sleep disruption, which ×2 for me because I have ADHD, and we know that women with ADHD have a very hard time sleeping already. And alcohol is a severe disruption to your sleep. So I was really causing myself a lot of extra bullshit with that. I'm talking on a good night with sleep meds, I was sleeping 2.5 to 3 hours. And then when I would actually crash after a few days, I was only getting about 5 hours. It was horrible. I looked old as fuck. My skin was ashy, like flaking off. I was breaking out. I've never really had breakouts that bad. I've got some video from while I was actively drinking and trying to stop because I wanted to remind myself that I never wanted to be here again. Alcohol was also suppressing emotions. So I am not an outwardly emotional person at all. So alcohol suppressed even the need to feel any emotion. So that was nice because I don't like expressing it. So I definitely didn't mind not feeling it. Perfectionism. So us women with ADHD, we are perfectionists, and if we can't do it all the way perfectly, then chaos is just the answer, obviously. So yeah, it's a struggle with perfectionism. The nice thing about alcohol was that it numbed that need to be perfect. And so it allowed me to work on things like in my wood shop that I might have kind of delayed starting because I wasn't really sure how to do it perfectly the first time. If I would drink some beer, I would just be like, just give it a go. See what happens. What's the worst that can happen? I learn something and I do the next one better. But when I was not numbing that need for perfectionism, it was just delaying me. What else was alcohol doing for me? It was sitting on top of and suppressing the feelings I had about constant fucking responsibility, problem solving, and decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is a very, very real thing. So the more friction you can remove from that, do it. And then, of course, your loss of recovery capacity in perimenopause. Perimenopause, your recovery actually takes longer. This is why your workouts have to change. That's not for this series, but that was a very important step that I had to take as well. So if you are high functioning, perimenopause, ADHD, gaining the weight, feeling the spikes and the crashes, and you just can't stop turning to alcohol, hey, maybe you aren't weak. Maybe you aren't actually totally fucked for the rest of your life like I thought I was. Maybe your nervous system is just fucking cooked and it needs relief. That's why you keep craving alcohol. Just know that you're not broken. You're not fucked up. You're not a failure. This is normal. And I can't say I have the answer for you on how to stop, but I will absolutely give you a downloadable PDF if you want for free, just to start journal prompting when you're feeling it or if you're trying to quit, and give you some tips on what I did to get through it, or what it was like when I kept on stopping and starting and stopping and starting and quitting again and again and again. Your nervous system actually can regulate. You have to let it have the opportunity. So if you are a high functioning perimenopausal ADHD woman trying to find your way on this journey, and anything I say resonates with you or could be helpful, please join the community And like, subscribe, comment. Let me know how it's been for you.